Hey tubers, happy Monday. You guys know I buy all my parts or most of my parts off of eBay, and I use PayPal to pay for them. And I kind of ran across somewhat of a scam that I want to tell you guys about, especially if you have a relatively high traffic PayPal account. This is a little listing I made up, and you know, ATV supply $17.21. Right, Texas salvage $58.71, and then a couple of things that use Chinese characters to describe the company, and a couple of builds to my PayPal account. Well, I was going through my PayPal bill because it seemed a little higher than it should, but I kind of keep a mental tally. I very rarely compare my PayPal bill directly to my eBay listing, but it just seemed a little high, so I started comparing. There was this company that once again described itself with Chinese characters, who hit me with a couple of charges that just were not explainable. I went back to the month before, and it was kind of a look back. I had just gotten a new bill. So the month after, to, see that somehow they move things around. And they were kind of placed dead center in the month. And they billed me at an amount like $18.57 is a pretty common number. I mean, not exactly $18.57, but somewhere around $20 for that time period was a pretty common charge for a carburetor or cables or throttle. A lot of things I buy happen to be right in that area. Anyway, I contacted PayPal, and they contacted the company, which turned out to be bogus, and they returned the money to my PayPal account, and they issued me a new card. So my only loss was access to my PayPal account for a period of time, and now I have to spend a lot more time comparing notes back and forth. It's a little difficult because you kind of got to print out one of the accounts and then compare the charges and check them off. Probably it's better to print out your PayPal account, or quite honestly, you have the PayPal bill there and you could just kind of go back and forth and check things off. By the way, just because ATV Supply charged me for $17.21 doesn't necessarily mean that because it's in English that that's a valid charge. I didn't find any invalid charges like that, but just letting you know, it seemed like it was the Chinese character type thing. So that's one issue that's been kind of slowing down my ability to purchase and so forth. You got to add to that the slowness of the mail, and then you have a bunch of companies using like a third party, like DHL fulfillment type stuff. That slows things way down. Prices are obviously up, especially for anything from China, but that's a couple of things that have been, kind of messing my accounts up. Another problem I've been having is the wrong parts problem. I ordered 2 front brake cables, specifically one to put on here, right, this Honda 200S, and one to kind of put in stock because I'm sure there's another Honda 200S floating around that needs brake cables. They're about $10 each. With tax, it's like a $21, $22 order, right? So they sent me one front brake cable, and then they sent me this throttle cable, right? And like, you can't adapt that to be using on a brake. So, I contacted the supplier, who said, yo, you want your money back, you got to send me the cable back. So this is a $10 item. For me to send it back with tracked mail probably cost me the major part of $5. So do I invest $5 to get my $10 back? I asked him if he was going to reimburse my postage, and he stopped replying at that point. I guess I can slam him with a negative review, but he's got quite a few reviews on there. So, you know, slamming him with 1 out of 1,000, a lot of good it does me. Obviously, it was his mistake because I ordered 2 of these, but basically I got told to put it in my sock that they're not going to help me out. Lastly, this bearing, and this bearing was more money. It turned out it was close to $26, $27 by the time it finally showed up here. And it's the wrong bearing. So, you know, I put in a used one with another flywheel. Seems to be working, so I shouldn't be whining too much. I'm also told this is the right bearing for the kick clutch, or the kick starter on a 200 ES. So I guess I'm going to hang on to it, but once again, before I realize that it's the right one for the Kickstarter, right, I contacted the person and they said, yeah, send it back, right? So I got to package it up, send it tracked mail. You know, I asked, you know, are you going to reimburse me for the postage? And the answer I got back didn't leave me confident. So once again, a $5, $6 investment. Plus, by the time I package it, get it to the post office and send it back, right? How long does that take? Once again, luckily I can recycle it. So, I don't know what advice I can give you other than to tell you all, you really want to compare your PayPal charges against your eBay listing, because you might be getting ripped off. And it's not like, you know, obviously if somebody puts a $500 charge on there, you're instantly going to say, wait a minute, I didn't order that $500 thing from a company in China, right? You'll catch that. But if somebody goes through your account or has some knowledge of your account, or perhaps you've ordered stuff from them before a few times, so they, you know, could kind of swag you with a, let's charge them, you know, just under $20 with some strange numbers, so they don't look again. Right, they might just snag you on that. And once again, don't be surprised that just because the lettering is Chinese, that I mean, you could get ripped off by American companies if they figure out the same scam. Parts, I don't know what to do with that, right? I don't know, right? They're sending me A to V parts, just not the ones I order. I'm not sure what to do with that. Used to be that you would, you know, complain and instantaneously, you know, they'd say, hey, you know, if you can use the part, I'll refund you $5, or you know, or really sorry, here's your money back, please use me again. I'm kind of surprised. The last couple of times I've complained about wrong parts, they basically told me to put it in my sock and to go away. Good luck out there. Anybody who plays in this business knows that buying parts is a big part of what we do, right? If you're trying to fix something, you can't do everything with, you know, plumbing strap and baling wire. Every once in a while you actually want to fix something correct, especially if it's a bike you want to be reliable. You don't always want to be using used parts, because a lot of times to get a used part, especially if it's buried in the engine, you got to completely tear the engine apart. You got residual oil floating around all over the place, you know. You know, then you got to put it all together again, and then you discover that, wait a minute, I can use the bottom end of that engine that I just took the parts out of, because I got a good deal on the top end, and now the bottom end is incomplete because I borrowed parts from it, right? So the way I do business, this is definitely a pest. I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember, feet down, heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.